This is James Lupton, and I'm delighted to be joined once again with Mauricio Sulaiman. Mauricio, how are you, sir?
Fine, James. Very happy to be once again with you.
Thank you for joining me. Now, you recently had your convention for this year in Uzbekistan. How was that, first of all?
Oh, it was unbelievable. Before going to Uzbekistan, 90% or even everybody didn't know where Uzbekistan was, where in the map, or what it was, or how it would be. There were resistance. Some people didn't even go for the fear of the world situation with the wars happening. As I said, nobody knew where Uzbekistan was. When we got there, a beautiful country, peaceful, one of the top in security in the whole world. We only found smiles and hospitality, beautiful culture, music, food, great respect, great enthusiasm. Boxing is a national sport, and they have had great success with amateur boxing in the Olympic Games. Now they're going into professional boxing in a very strong way, and they have a tremendous heavyweight, Jalolov, that could be making great news in the near future. The convention was tremendous. We had people from more than 100 countries gathered together. More than 1,000 attended the convention, and we had Mike Tyson, Holyfield, Usyk, Chavez, Duran, Amir Khan. We had Kovalev, Konstantin Siu, so many fighters and promoters, trainers, doctors, commissioners, ring officials. We had a lot of work that got done. We have a great working plan for 2024, and the hospitality was unmatched. The way we were received by Mr. Gafour and his team, and the way we were always attended to every single detail was humbling, because it was one of the greatest, if not the greatest, convention we ever had.
Fantastic. Probably the biggest bit of news that came out of the convention across social media was the ranking of Francis Ngannou at heavyweight into number 10. First of all, what thought and consideration went into that, and why did you feel, or you guys and your panel feel, he deserved that, first of all?
First of all, of course, is the performance in boxing that he showed against the heavyweight champion of the world. He was not a four-round fight against a nobody, or a good prospect, or a decent fighter, or a good fighter. It was against Tyson Fury. He knocked down Tyson Fury. He took all the punches from Tyson Fury, and he lost a split decision against the WBC heavyweight champion of the world. That by itself, it's an immediate criteria met for many of the ratings criteria that we have. Level of opposition, performance, results, etc. Activity, there's many things, record. And the most important criteria that is met is a rule that the WBC has always had, and we use it continuously. Performance of the athlete, of the boxer, in amateur, in Olympic, or in other combat sports. So we have ranked so many fighters from Thailand that moved from Muay Thai to international boxing. We have an example of a fighter who won the world championship only in his second professional boxing fight. So there's plenty of stories from the past, examples, and we're just being consistent. Nobody can doubt Ngannou has that criteria met of great performance in MMA. He was a heavyweight champion for several years, regarded as one of the best. So that criteria and his performance against Fury resulted in his ranking in the top 10 of the WBC.
Can you appreciate why the former number 10, who is now number 11, may feel aggrieved by his losing his top 10 ranking.
Who is number 11?
I think it may be.
Wallin.
Yeah.
I think it's Otto Wallin. Okay. Heavyweight. Let's take Otto Wallin. Let's take, Philip.
Pogovic.
We have Philip, Daniel Dubois, Kabayev, Otto Wallin, Jalolov. I ask you, could you foresee that any of those fighters that I just mentioned would soundly defeat Ngannou?
On paper, a boxing novice in Ngannou, you would think if they're ranked in the top 10, top 15 in the world, they should have the ability to beat Ngannou, in my opinion, yes.
On paper, Tyson Fury had easily defeated and even knocked out Ngannou, correct?
Correct.
And it didn't happen. So records are papers. That's the reality. Records are papers. That's why the WBC rating criteria has many different elements to evaluate. Of course, his record 0-1 would say, no, come on, you cannot rank him. But then the ability and performance in mixed martial arts, the performance against Fury, the level of opposition, Fury. So you go by all the criteria, and I am very proud of the ratings committee to have ranked Ngannou at number 10. And there is no one that can claim that seeing Ngannou with any one of the top 10, top 15, top 100, Ngannou will be competitive, and nobody can certainly say that he will lose the fight until we see it. That is the opinion of the WBC ratings committee, of the WBC board of governors, and myself, and I stand strongly for the ranking of Ngannou.
I mean, it's certainly a tough job for the ranking committee to decide, and it's a very brave decision as well, because it could have been very easy for your team to say, no, we won't, because we don't want to suffer the backlash. He has only had one fight. We won't do that. And I think it is a brave decision. And as you mentioned, you can't write him off really against any of the top 10, top 15 ranked heavyweights. So it's one of those decisions where you're either going to agree with it or disagree with it. Either way, like you say, we can only wait and see what happens in the ring.
Exactly. Let's see what happens in the ring. If he doesn't continue boxing and just continues with MMA, that's his decision. If that was the performance of his life and never performs again, we will see. But the WBC does not administer boxing or make rulings for popularity. It is very easy to rule by popular demand, by what the fans or the press say, or when you get pressure for something, you back out. No. We take the bull by the horns, as we say in Mexico, and we will not allow anyone to bully us through media or through popular attacks, social media attacks. You know, my kids, sometimes they go into Twitter or Instagram and they read a few things they say about me, and they go home and they say, Dad, are you really that bad? But now they're used. They understand. I have taught them how to read social media. If you read your social media and believe the comments that are completely biased and with the ill intention to hurt, you have to take those away and filter them, because criticism is the greatest way to improve. So I do accept criticism. I do take responsible, constructive criticism, and that helps me and everything that we do improve. But many of those are not responsible criticism, but just unfounded, ill attacks, and you just have to filter them out.
Absolutely, I agree.